Hey guys, it's Marshall Tingle coming to you with your Superior Ag Insurance Ringside Report for this past week of April 13th through the 19th. So another busy week here across the state of Kentucky in your auction barns and markets. We finally got a dry week, and it sure enough shows it, guys. The cattle sure enough came to town. 21,126 head of cattle marketed statewide through your auction barns and markets. That's going to be about 10,000 head more than what it was this time last week, just due to the weather. But if you compare it to this time last year, pretty steady, within about a 1,300 head difference. Now, what's not the same as last year, what's not the same as last week, these prices, we have made up some serious ground on these cattle. Your feeder cattle, your yearlings, the whole deal, it has skyrocketed pretty strong. So let's talk about this real fast. We're going to call your feeder steers $6 to $12 higher there. Your heifer cattle $5 to $10 higher. Again, both these categories, some instances sharply higher, and you'll see what I'm talking about there. Now your yearling, they traded quite nicely too. Don't forget about those. But let's talk about these little lightweight cattle worth going in. Your 3-weight steer cattle this past week, they topped off at $520. So that's really making some ground. Now let's talk about your 4-weights. Your 4-weight steers, I'm gonna call them about $405 as an average. They topped off at $455. Now your 5-weight steer cattle, I'm going to call them about $360 to $375. You had some really big spreads on some of these cattle, these lightweight cattle, depending on where you were, and you are starting to get in that category where you're starting to see a little bit of variation in kind and quality. So if the state called them big spreads on these cattle, about $310 to anywhere is $390. Like I said, I want to call them about $360 to $375. That's where I saw the most of them at. That's where I think the meat and potatoes of them traded at. Nonetheless, they topped off at $405. Now your big 6-weight steer cattle, $325 is an average ready for their top. $365 on a 6-weight steer. But check out these big loads, guys. These yearlings traded really nicely. Here's 45 head of black steers, $812 on the average at $283.75. Another set, 63 head of these, be blacks and Charolais cross steers, $876 on the average, $285.75, and then go on just a little bit heavier now, 61 head of black steers, weighed $889 at $288.75. Then close out here on a big treat now. Here's 116 head of them, about 2 loads of them, black steers, $895, $286.10. So that's what's going on there. But I will say this, the first half of the week as this thing was building steam and momentum, you did have several loads of steers, 8-weight steers trading that $275 to $278 mark, but these were your highlights here. Now let's talk about your heifer cattle. Check out this big treat, guys. Your heifers gained some big ground. Here's 159 head of mostly black heifers, about 95% black heifers here, 2 loads of them, $615 on the average. Ready for this? $324.95. But here's the really cool part. Here's your colored sort right off of them, guys. 21 head of these colored heifers, primarily Charolais crosses, yellows, a few rednecks on the deal, $605 on the average, $325.50. So as you can see, this heifer market's trading quite nicely as well. Now let's talk about your CME feeder cattle index for the week. So Monday the 14th, CME feeder cattle index 288.07. Moved to Tuesday the 15th, 288.03. So pretty much steady there. We saw a big jump on Wednesday. Wednesday the 16th, 293.57. Thursday, pretty much steady. Thursday the 17th, 292.42. And we closed out the week just a hair softer, the 18th at 289.50. So that's what's going on in your CME feeder cattle index. That's what's going on in your cash market here in the state of Kentucky. If you've got any questions about any of this information, or you're interested in investing in LRP policy, there really is no better time than right now. Feel free to reach out to the guys. Call Ian Thomas at 859-613-2453. Call Adam Shoemaker at 859-338-4116. And don't forget about Cole Clark, 859-865-2980, or check them out on the web, www.superioragins.com. As always, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy this sunshine. Watch this grass grow. We'll talk to you next week.